What's your opinion on open relationships? Would you give it a try? I feel like what's the point of being in a relationship if it's open? But to each its own. I personally wouldn't try it. I have no issue with people who are in them. Would I want to be in one? Not personally. At that point, I'd rather just have a FWB. So we can fool around. And then they can do whatever they want on their own time. Without the emotional attachment. Isn't that what an open relationship is? No. Open relationship, you're still together, you go on dates, may live together. It's like a regular relationship, but you can also F other people. FWB is just casual sex, no strings attached, no feelings. Not gonna be dating. No feelings outside of friendship, etc. Like one of my FWBs was just in town for a little over a year, then going back home. Didn't want to fall for anyone or waste time dating wench smoothing. So she just wanted to have sex a few times a week until she went home. I think they're fine and should be more normalized. But personally, no. I would not want one for myself. Why normalize one of the most unstable forms of relationships? Most of these relationships fail and cause lasting issues for the people in them. Most of them fail because they are brought up as a desperate attempt to salvage an already failing relationship. Look, I know that they're not for everyone, but you know what? Neither is monogamy. If people were able to honestly discuss these things at the beginning of a relationship, without fear of the current stigma, then maybe they'd find something that works for everyone. My opinion is that in theory, with good communication on everyone's part, it could be a wonderful experience and help meet more needs in a relationship than if you were to depend on one person for everything. From what I've seen, it seems like one person is often more into the idea than the other, and that often leads to frustration / conflict / resentment. But all relationships are complicated and imperfect. Just because you're open doesn't mean you're better or worse than any other couple. I think I could potentially be open to an open relationship, but it would have to be after having developed a deep trust with someone. And I would have to also really want it, and not just be trying to appease my partner. This is the way. I've been polyamorous for 7 years, and the first few years were full of mistakes. Primarily in choosing partners who weren't right for me. I dated a passive-aggressive narcissist for almost a year, a pathological liar for 2 months, and an closed-off emotionally serial victim for over a year. In the beginning, I'd date anyone who showed interest or responded well to my interest in them. Over time, I developed a better sense of self-worth. I emboldened myself to develop healthy boundaries, and I set standards regarding the sorts of people I was interested in sharing my life with. My most long-term relationship right now is with my nesting partner of 4 years. We were both polyamorous when we met. We'd both been through a similar ringer, and we both had the same relationship philosophy. So we had a deep level of trust and intimacy almost immediately. She also has a girlfriend of 3 years, and they are just wonderful together. It can be a really rewarding lifestyle if you find the right people to fit into it, and if you've gotten your head on straight and know how to coexist in such relationships. It takes courage, emotional intellect, emotional honesty, humility, patience, and a whole load of love and support for your partners and your metamers alike. There are lots of books out there that can help a person interested in entering this lifestyle. Let me know if you have any interest and I'd make some recommendations. Not something I'd pursue, but more power to the folks that do it. It's not that I don't think they can work, just that the societal history and expectation of monogamy in our culture is such that they almost never will work out. Maybe in a few decades things will change. Yeah, sure, I don't care. I can barely manage a relationship with one person. I sure as hell don't want to deal with managing more than one. Tried, and I would not recommend it unless you are both 100% secure in your commitment to each other. Have a serious conversation with your partner before commencing, and be completely honest about your reasons for wanting to do it. Sometimes people will propose the idea simply because they want to cheat without being labeled as a cheater. Good luck. It's the first step down the long road to a breakup. It only prolongs the pain instead of just ripping the band-aid off. I personally know that I'm too needy and prone to jealousy, and it would never work for me. No. There is always someone who will get jealous. Immature. And no. I'm dating you, but I don't care enough about you to commit. Apostrophe. It's basically just cheating with permission. No. Those never work out. Neither does poly. But if that's someone's cup of tea, have at it. I'm in a somewhat open one now. It takes trust and excellent communication, but it can definitely work wonders. Have done before. Would do again. Not for me. It's totally fine in my opinion and experience. It's not something that should be forced onto you though. All parties involved really need to be on the same page. It's equally as valid as monogamy is to me. Neither one is more correct than the other. I think polyamory or non-monogamy is as much a part of one's sexual orientation as heterosexuality or homosexuality. If you're into it, you're into it. And if you're not, you're not. And it doesn't really matter, as long as everyone's enjoying themselves. If you are a young couple childless, go for it. But if you are on your 30s or 40s with child, you are a bad person and no, not give a try. I don't care if others do it personally but never for me. I'm too clingy, and also if you are with several people it makes the relationship as a whole not feel special anymore. Having it exclusively between two people makes it feel like a bond of trust and love, but with any more it just seems like an excuse to F someone else. I've got no issues with other people having one, but personally it's not for me, so I'd never pursue one. For me it's not a relationship if we are not exclusive and get to have sex with others. That's more of a friends with benefits in my opinion. I prefer the idea of polyamory instead of an open relationship. It's kind of insane that we expect to have one partner fulfill all of our relationship needs. I'm personally asexual, so I have floated the idea of open relationships before. But I want more stability than that. It takes a lot of time and effort to try and find sexual partners, and they each come with their own issues. Terrible. Completely miss the point. Either you don't know what love is, or you got badly burned. Which is terrible. Love is crazy, in a good way. Absolutely crazy. You love one person and they love you. I guess you can't understand until it happens. But you should hold out for it. People give up on love because it seems too good to be true. But it can actually happen, and it makes you a better person. Full disclosure that my wife and I are sexually non-monogamous where we participate in couple swaps primarily. The term open relationship can mean many things. Most would think it's a relationship where both partners have other ongoing romantic and sexual relationships. On the other end of the spectrum it could mean mild non-monogamy, where a couple has a threesome once a year when on vacation. There are a million variations in between. For us, the whole concept has brought us closer. We've been married for 15 plus years and experience very little jealousy. Seeing our spouse having sex with another is something we find very hot, and it leads to us having an even stronger sex life at home. So we are good with sexual openness. But could we do emotional non-monogamy? That isn't for us at the moment, but never say never. We feel like love is an unlimited resource. But it's time that is a problem. If we could figure out a structure where we didn't feel neglected time-wise, I think it could work for us.